Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be ranking all of the new products I tried out in the month of March. So before we get into it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get into it. So I did try out 8 new products in the month of March, which in all honesty is not too bad. I am anticipating April to be a little more heavy, so it's kind of nice to have a slower month. But let's just hop right into it. We're going to rank them today. So coming in at number 8, and the product I liked the very least is from Rare Beauty, and this is the Give Yourself Grace eyeshadow palette. I really wanted to love this. I know a lot of people really love Rare Beauty, myself included. I've loved a lot of their products. I just do not love this palette. The mattes are fine. The metallics are fine as well. They're not amazing, but they're fine. What bothers me is the giant glitter right in the middle, and I kind of knew that when I bought this palette. I kind of wondered why there would be such a giant glitter right in the center, but I wanted to try it anyway, and I honestly really super hate the glitter. It's just very, very messy. It gets everywhere. I have not tried it with a glitter glue, but even the shade, the tone, I just did not like this. And because it makes up such a large portion of the palette, I just could not give this number 1. The other shades are fine, but I do think there are much better quality shadows in some of my other palettes. So this one was just a miss for me. Coming in at number 7 is from NARS, and this is one of their new Laguna quads. This is the Laguna Sunset Quad. So NARS did release 2 quads this month, part of the Laguna lineup, and this one here is, like I mentioned, Laguna Sunset. It does look very pretty. The problem is that these are all shimmery shades. So for me, it's just a miss. I just do not like how it looks when I do a shimmer in my crease, so I'm not going to do that. So overall, I'm just not going to reach for this nearly as often as other palettes. This for me is just a companion palette. I like it fine, the quality is fine, the shades are all very pretty. It's just that it's very, very pricey for 4 shades, and it's more of a companion. Okay, so from this point on, this is where I really like everything. So this is where it started to get a bit tricky. But coming in at number 6 is from Pat McGrath, and this is her Skin Fetish Divine Glow Highlighter in Lunar Allure. So I have tried her highlight formula before in one of her trios that she released around the holidays. And her website is currently running their spring sale, but she was also running a sale, I believe, at the beginning of March. So I decided to splurge and get the highlighter. So I've been curious about this for a while. I would not normally spend this much money on a highlighter, but she had, I think, 30% off, and I found an additional code to stack. So that is what made me pull the trigger on this one. So I ended up getting this one for somewhere in the $25 to $30 range, which is still a lot for a highlight, but this actually is super beautiful. So I do love that it comes in her blush packaging, and I actually really love the shade as well. I do have a little bit of this on today, just right here. I also have it on the inner corner and under the brow bone. So I just love how this looks. It is a blinding highlight, but it's not too glittery. It's just very, very smooth, and I don't find it really enhances texture. So I really, really like this. But if you're not a fan of blinding highlights, you're probably not going to love this, because this one is very, very bright. This is the most fair shade, which is Lunar Allure, and this is the shade that definitely works best for my very fair skin. I really, really love this. It's just obnoxiously expensive, so if you're into this, definitely wait for one of her sales and see if you can find a code to stack, and I think it's totally worth it. I think it's a really great highlight. Coming in at number 5 is the other quad that was released in the NARS Laguna collection. So this is just called Laguna, and this one is much nicer for every day. So you get a matte, you get 2 more satin shades, and then you get a shimmery shade. So the only thing I don't super love about this one is that I find that this shade is a little bit on the dry side. However, this quad is a beautiful, beautiful everyday quad. I do still think it's overpriced for 4 shades. I had a couple of people mention in my comments on my review video that these will likely end up at TJ Maxx in a few months. probably true. If you find them there, I do recommend this one. I don't really recommend Laguna Sunset, but if you're looking for a quad that is going to do you well for every day, whether you're going to work, whatever it is you're doing, you're just looking for something quick and simple for every day that's also really good quality, I would recommend this. I do really like this quad. I think it's beautiful. I would just wait until you can get it for a discounted price. So this is where it starts getting really, really tricky, but coming in at number 4 is from Huda Beauty, and this is the Cool Matte Obsessions palette. So she did release 2 of these. There was the Warm Matte Obsessions and the Cool Mattes. I did not pick up the warm palette, but I did pick up the cool. And for this one, she chose to go with the more cool mauve color story. And I love it. I think it's wonderful. So these 2 shades right here are the cream shades in here, and the rest are all mattes. I think this color story is so beautiful. I love this. The quality of this is phenomenal. The quality of the mattes is so good. They blend together so, so beautifully. It takes no time at all to blend these out. And the cream shades are very well done as well. I've mentioned before, I'm not always a fan of Huda's 9 pans, but I think she really nailed it with this one. You are limited to the looks you can create. I mean, you're always going to get a pinky mauve-y look, but if you're into that, then I do not think you would regret this. And I will also say this was very long wearing. This wore all day long. And I think the same day that I was testing this, I was also doing a foundation wear test. And when I checked in at the very end of the day, this was still going strong. So I have to say this is a really, really great little palette from Huda. Coming in at number 3 is from L'Oreal, and this is their True Match Super Blendable Foundation. So this one has recently been redone. They've added hyaluronic acid, they've added a pump, and this is amazing quality. I love this foundation. I can't recall if I tried it in its smaller bottle. I'm pretty sure I did, but it would have been years ago. So I don't remember what I thought, but this I love. This is so good. It is more of a thinner formula. You get medium coverage. It blends out so quickly, so seamlessly. It just makes you look so pulled together, and it really does wear all day long. This is such a great drugstore formula. This actually reminds me quite a bit of the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation that I love. So I think that's why I enjoy this so much. I think this is a great foundation. This is a really great everyday foundation. It doesn't give you so much coverage that it looks like you're wearing heavy makeup, but it does really just pull everything together and stick around all day. So I do think this is a really great, lightweight, medium coverage foundation. It's wonderful. Coming in at number 2 is from Milani. This is one of their Gilded Mini palettes, and this one is in Whiskey Business. So this is an all matte brown eyeshadow palette. Is it boring? Yes. Is it also phenomenal quality? Also yes. I cannot speak to the other palettes in this format that have shimmers. I do have some of their older ones in this format, but I don't know if they've reformulated or anything like that, but I will say the mattes are so good. They're so easy to wear. They're so easy to blend. They look so, so nice. And again, these stuck around all day too. I've heard a lot of people compare this to the Charlotte Tilbury Super Nudes palette. I think really the only difference is that that one has a black, whereas this one has this more reddish tone brown. If that difference doesn't bother you, I would absolutely save your money on the Charlotte Tilbury and just get this one. This is literally a fraction of the price, and the quality is amazing. So if you've been eyeing that one up, I would absolutely grab this one instead. I really wanted the Super Nudes for the longest time, but once I picked this one up, it completely got rid of that urge. So highly recommend this. And coming in at number 1 is my main foundation win for the month of March, and that is the Laura Mercier Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Foundation. I love this one. I think this is so beautiful on the skin. This gives a really nice medium coverage. It does feel very lightweight. It looks really nice all day long. It gives a slight luminosity to the skin. All of those things that I really, really love in a foundation, this does. I also love the packaging. The pump is really nice. It's a very high quality pump. What I will say though is because the pump is so short, you really don't get much out. It's more like a half a pump, but that might be nice if you're somebody who really just hates wasting product, because doesn't allow you to get too much out at a time. The only thing I will say with this one is I recommend applying it with a sponge. For me, that is just the method that worked best. It just made it look the most seamless, whereas I found I had a bit of a harder time with a brush. I would mention that, but otherwise, I love this foundation. This was such a great foundation. I'm still really enjoying this, and I highly recommend. And that is it. Those are the 8 products I tried out in the month of March. Thank you so very much for joining me today. If you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!